If someone dies years after being seriously injured in a crime, can that still be charged as murder? In California, there's a specific rule that might say no. It's called the 3-year and 1-day rule, and it can actually protect someone from being criminally charged if too much time has passed between the original incident and the person's death. Here's how it works. Under California Penal Code, paragraph 194, if a victim dies more than 3 years and 1 day after the injury that allegedly caused their death, the law presumes that the death was not the result of a criminal act. In other words, the longer the time gap, the harder it is to say with certainty that the earlier event caused the death, and the law reflects that. Now, this doesn't mean charges are impossible, but it does shift the burden. Once that 3-year and 1-day window has passed, the prosecution must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the original act did cause the death in a criminally liable way. If the jury has even a reasonable doubt, the defendant must be acquitted. Let's talk about how the timing works. The clock starts the day the incident happened, and that day counts as a full day, no matter what time it occurred. So if someone is injured on January 1st, 2020, the window runs through January 10th, 2023. If the victim dies after that, the legal presumption kicks in that the death was not a criminal homicide. Why does this rule exist? Well, modern medicine can keep people alive for years after a traumatic injury, but that long survival period makes it much harder to clearly tie the death back to the original incident. So the law steps in and says, if that much time has passed, we're not going to assume criminal intent unless the evidence is extremely clear. And what if someone had already been convicted of attempted murder before the victim passed away? They can still be charged with murder, as long as the death occurred within the 3-year and 1-day time frame. It's not considered double jeopardy because attempted murder and actual murder are 2 different charges. Here's the takeaway. The 3-year and 1-day rule is about fairness. It recognizes that the more time passes, the harder it is to prove causation beyond a reasonable doubt. Unless the death happens within that window, or unless prosecutors can definitively show a criminal link, the law presumes the death is not a homicide. That's a powerful safeguard against speculative or unsupported prosecutions. The law office of Daniel Horowitz specializes in criminal defense cases, including issues like untimely disclosure of evidence. If you're facing criminal charges and are concerned about the fairness of your trial, we can help ensure your rights are protected. We have experienced legal professionals on staff who are committed to handling every aspect of your case with care and attention to detail. Call us today at 925-283-1863. Again, our number is 925-283-1863.